Good evening, Stagg High School. My name is Teresa Ferrell, and I'm going to be adjudicating our drum majors tonight. So I'm going to be looking at our conducting and our overall music expression. How are we leading the ensemble and the interpretation of the score? So this includes our dynamics, our phrasing, use of the cutoffs and releases and sustaining, and just our stylistic and overall musical interpretation. Also looking at how you're commanding the ensemble, your poise and presence, and how you're engaging with them and making eye contact with them throughout the performance. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight.
From Mellow Mama Jess.
I would have called him a liar. I'm so proud of you. Love, Christine Ferrell.
So already just like looking at the poise and presence, it's actually a great start to the performance. You're really setting a good tone. I tell my students all the time that how the audience is going to hear them depends on how they're carrying themselves, and it's really awesome to see that you guys are ready to go. You're on the field, you know, standing proud. That does a lot to show us how the band is going to sound.
Riley Hobart, is your band ready?
Nice job with the salute there. Make sure we're releasing exactly together, but
High School
really, really nice.
You may now take the field in exhibition.
Start to the performance, setting the tempo. I wonder if there's a way that you can help cue the band to breathe on count 4. So instead of dut, 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 if it can be dut, 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 and then you breathing with the band. Just now, earlier, the drum major here, I'm looking at the field, the drum major on the left did this nice little cue with the crescendo, and then our center drum major didn't do that. If we could match that up, yeah, that would be great. So thinking about like cues here, we just had a bunch of instruments come in. I'm wondering if you can add a cue. Yeah, same thing here. So anytime there's an entrance, taking our left hand, making sure before we're breathing, we're making eye contact, and then we're like pointing, or we are initiating somehow that yes, you are supposed to come in. So between the two of us, we're matching pretty well. Center drum major, our wrists are actually, our fingertips are actually pretty high. I wonder if you can flatten out your hand just a little bit and bring those palms towards the ground. I bet from the field that they are seeing a lot of palm instead of a lot of the fingertips. So really make sure, I would record myself and maybe even from their vantage point, and then see if we can bring our forearms down just a little bit and loosen our hands so they're not quite so cupped. Yeah, again, the drum major on the left is doing some nice cues here with dynamics. I wonder if we can get on the same page as that. And that just comes back to like, let's sit down and let's look at the musical score, and are there written crescendos or written decrescendos, and can we indicate that? And then that just comes to help out the band. Like, we just want to help the band and be good leaders and help them in their musicianship. Yeah, that was a nice cue. We should be doing more of that. And then always breathing before we cue the ensemble. Also, this is a nice moment with the soloist. It's okay to acknowledge them and to smile and like be like, hey, it's okay. Like, that was awesome. You know, and I'm kind of standing here between you two and the pit. There's a lot of cool back and forth stuff. I wonder if there's a way to acknowledge the pitch. So making sure you're making eye contact with them as well, because they're just as important. So in these softer sections, part of conveying dynamics is just making our beat pattern smaller. So making sure, yeah, nice little cutoff there. Make the beat pattern smaller when it's softer. Part of it though, the band is facing backfield. I don't know that you need to conduct with both hands here. In style here, which I'm liking. Center drum major, now that we've changed our style, we've actually changed where our ictus is. So our 3 is actually a lot lower than our 1, and our 4 is a lot higher. With the 4 is fine, but and then 2 is a lot higher too. I would trace out my pattern with a whiteboard, with a dry erase marker on the whiteboard. Just make sure that that's consistent. Just because we want to make sure that like the band always knows where our beat is. Yeah, and again, thinking about like our size of our pattern in relation to the dynamics, we've got a lot of back and forth here. You know, lots of fun, playful back and forth. It's quiet, and then it's loud. It's quiet, and now we're growing. That's a nice crescendo, but the size of our pattern, making it smaller and making it larger. Yeah, nice job with that. We did a really nice job matching between the two of us, and also like just having a general command of the ensemble. I would dive into the musical score just a little bit. Like, where can I cue the band, and how can I help them breathe and come in? So adding a couple more cues. You've done it with the trumpet players there, but making sure we're doing that consistently, and also taking a look at like what are the musical elements in the score. Are there some crescendos and decrescendos that I can add in? The drum major here on the left, when we're facing the band, had some good ideas. I would sit down and try to get on the same page about like what do we want this to look like, and how can we help lead the band. So great start to the season, seeing lots of good stuff, and thank you for the performance, and I'm excited to see where this goes.